right here. We're going to get started this evening with Eho Mai, so if you want to kuiluna and join us, that would be my time. We're here today to celebrate and talk about our kupuna and walking their footsteps. And so the way we wanted to start this Aloha Aina is to remember those who came together in Hilo in 1897, to create a process of annexation that was going to happen, or they were concerned that was going to happen. And they came and they put their signature on pieces of paper that we call today the Ku'e petition. And it's those kupuna that we honor today and that we want to remember and want to walk in their footsteps. We also want to recognize and remember some of our dear, dear friends that were part of this journey that we've been on for quite a long time, and who recently went, how we say, passed on into the Aloha, went into the presence of Wakea. And those are our beloved Kikuni Blaisdell, Dr. Kikuni Blaisdell, who was, besides being an awesome medical doctor, a strong and dedicated Kanaka who worked tirelessly for the benefit of all of us. Are you guys trying to work on the lights? Oh, it's good. The other person in the center there is Leandra Bai, and I remember her from Makua. She was Sparky Rodriguez Wahine, and she was a strong, yet very, very gentle, quiet, peaceful person who wasn't afraid to put her beliefs on the line when the people came to arrest her and evict all her and her friends from Makua Valley. And then the third person who just left us is Kui Pao, is what we know him as, but some of us remember him as Mr. Ahmad. Mother, pure Hawaiian from Kiania, and his father was a Palestinian. So a very interesting combination, part of the San Island struggles, and then starting the Maka'oka Aina. And many of those videos and CDs now are really a testimony to the history of the struggle and the history of our people. And so we want to remember them today as we start the discussion about where we're going. We wanted to set a ground rules starting with the kapu aloha, talking about respect to one another, aloha kikahi kikahi. So if everybody could please turn off their cell phones and let's not do any texting or side conversations while we're engaged here. That way we can all hear what everybody has to say and we can talk all we want after we leave this room here. If you have questions, please save them for later. And then we're going to go into some small discussions about a quarter into this meeting. And when you're asked to say something, please be as concise as you can. Stay on topic. Listen with aloha. Try to understand instead of worrying all about how you're going to make everybody understand you. It helps to kind of open up your mind to new things that you may have never thought about. If there are people in your little group that have very different opinions, value that diversity. We can always learn from one another. And don't forget to have fun. That's one of the things our kupuna were famous for. And the more I read about how much fun they had, the more I'd say, hey, we're way too serious, we're way too boring kind of thing. Our kupuna wasn't like that at all. So let's not forget to have fun. And so as we begin our presentation, we just want to tell you about this group that's come together to organize this Aloha Aina. And our goals as a collective is to reaffirm our independence as Hawaiian people, to resist and to oppose Na'iaupuni's claim that they are the representative voice of our people, to reject the attempts by the DOI to make us a native tribe, an Indian tribe, and to most of all unite our people on collaboratively work together as we build and rebuild our nation of Hawaii. And so I'd like to invite Charmaine to come up and give us a brief overview of the historical facts from 1893 until now. Can you folks see it okay?
Hello. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to welcome you here and thank you for coming, spending your time to come out to learn about these things. We have a lot to teach you tonight about what's been going on since last year when the DOI came to Hawaii Island and talked to everybody. I heard that I wasn't here or paying attention actually at that time, but yeah, everybody made their testimonies and they were not heard. So this is where Aloha Aina is coming from because we want to be heard. We want everybody to know what's going on. So we wanted to start with some history. In 1893, the Hawaiian Kingdom was an internationally recognized independent nation. It was actually designated as a neutral country, which was unlawfully overthrown by a small group of American businessmen with the assistance of the U.S. military, the Marines. And then later in 1898, the United States unlawfully occupied the Hawaiian Islands. This unlawful occupation still continues today. So what we're talking about is over 3 million acres of valuable crown lands that belong to our kingdom. The government and public lands of the Kingdom of Hawaii were seized, first by the self-proclaimed Republic, and then the United States without the consent of the Hawaiian people or its nation. Then, as Auntie was talking about earlier, there was the Ku'e petition in 1897, where 21,269 signatures were gathered to protest the U.S. annexation. These were known as the Ku'e petitions at the time. and there were approximately 40,000 citizens in the Hawaiian Kingdom. So we, the Hawaiian Kingdom, never relinquished our claims or our cultural or political rights over sovereignty as a people, nor did we cede our national lands to the United States. This is recognized in the 1993 U.S. Public Law 103-150, also known as the Hilo. To continue on, later in 1959, the U.S., due to false representation by the United States, removed Hawaii from the list of non-self-governing territories eligible for decolonization. This made way for statehood, which didn't give independence as an option. As we move forward, in 2007, the United Nations recognized all the rights of indigenous people to self-determination, to freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. This is in the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. It's a whole document that you can find online. So these are the options that we actually have as a people now. Number one, we can stay occupied militarily by the United States. Number two, we can get federal recognition as a United States tribe, which is what is happening now at the Na'iaupuni-Aha. Or number three, we can have a compact of free association agreement like the Marshall Islands has with the United States. Or last, we can return to being an independent nation.
Yeah.
So in the summer of 2015, thousands of Hawaiians testified on every major island.
14.
Oh, that was, I'm sorry, 2014.
Yes.
Thousands of Hawaiians testified on every major island to the Department of Interior by oral testimony against federal recognition, and it was overwhelmingly against federal recognition. But all of those testimonies were not counted by the Department of Interior. They only accepted the written testimony, and as a result, the department thinks that we're pro-federal recognition, which is what their rule is about. Yeah, they think that we want to be, like Ashley said, a Native American tribe or a Hawaiian American tribe under the federal government within the Department of Interior. There's already a Board of Hawaiian Affairs within the Department of Interior set up for us. Somebody's working there in Washington, D.C. right now, today. They're already planning for this to come. That was their plan. In 2011, Kana'i was created by the state of Hawaii through Act 195, and 5 road commissioners were appointed by the governor with the goal of enrolling 200,000 kanaka. Kana'i at least spent $4 million of Office Hawaiian Affairs trust monies to gather the signatures for their road. In 2013, the State of Hawaii Act 77 transferred tens of thousands of names from 3 different OHA lists, which were Kauinoa, Operation Ohana, and the OHA's Hawaiian Registry, to the Kana'i Road. So, Kana'i certified list of 95,000 eligible voters represents only 18% of Hawaii's population.
Hawaiian.
I'm sorry, Hawaiian population, that's across the United States. Of those eligible to vote, many are listed without their knowledge or consent, and there are also many duplicate names and names of deceased people. According to Kanai'olavalu promotional materials, 82% of Hawaiians not on the roll waive their right and the right of their children and descendants to be legally and politically acknowledged as Native Hawaiians. And as a result, they may also be excluded from being granted rights of inclusion, we're talking about citizenship, and rights of participation in voting, and rights of potential benefits that may come with the citizenship for land use, monetary payments, scholarships, grants. So in December of 2014, Kanai'olavalu list was transferred over to the newly created Na'iaupuni without the consent of the people who signed. Just last year, in Hilo 2015, despite the lack of history or community trust, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs awarded Na'iaupuni, the process going on now, $2,598,000 to create a new nation. According to Act 195, only Kaho'olawe will be transferred to the new nation created in the process that they're talking about right now. In December of 2015, Na'iaupuni was forced to cancel the elections by the United States Supreme Court order. This month, in February 2016, 150 former Na'iaupuni candidates were appointed by Na'iaupuni to create governing documents for a race-based nation. And here you see the declaration that Aloha Aina has come up with to combat or protest what's happening at Na'iaupuni so that we can have our ability to go back to those four options where, where either we stay occupied, we can, I don't think we want federal recognition, the Free Compact Association, but most of all do. Can we hold questions to the end, please? Mahalo. So recently, just a couple days ago, on February 22nd, 8 Na'iaupuni protesters were arrested outside of the AHA when they tried to enter the premises to tell them about their concerns and find out what they're writing, what they're planning to write that we need to obey as Kanaka. It's documents that's going to be, governing our lives, but they're doing it in secret. So these are some of the things you can do right now. You can sign, there's a protest Na'iaupuni petition that came out last year. You cannot participate or vote. Yes. Yes, there's a laptop at the back row where you can do the sign-in for the protest Na'iaupuni petition or remove your name from the Kanai'olavalu roll. You can talk to one of us and plan your own Aloha Aina meeting in your community so that your Ohana friends and family can know about what's going on right here in Hawaii. These things are serious. We have Facebook groups, Protest Na'iaupuni and Aloha Aina. There's Twitter accounts and an Instagram account that was created also that you can stay in touch with. Most of all, with our declaration, you can become a co-sponsor. I say it's a solidarity sponsorship where you, as a person, as a business organization, can sponsor what the declaration says and be listed on our page so that all of Lafayette can know who are the other people that support independence, that support what Aloha Aina is about. Mahalo.
Okay, mahalo nui, Charmaine, giving you all that information. Aloha, my name is Lakia. I will be sharing to you kind of the symbol and the icon of this Aloha Aina, the Hilo. Yeah, this concept of the Hilo, the civil body polity. Basically, you know, some of the very first concepts, the first structure of Hawaiian governance that we know of. Yeah. But before I talk about the Kino, I really want to just share with you a little bit of the mo'olelo about how we discovered, or actually how we were discovered by the Kino in our work here at Hilo. So, as Charmaine was mentioning, a few years back, the DOI came out. They hit every island. They were asking for comments on the rule changes to try to see if Hawaiians wanted to become a Native American tribe. And of course, you know, something like 90%, 95% of the people who testified said, "A'ole loa." Yeah. We're Hawaiians. We're not Native Americans. We're not wards of the state. We're Hawaiians. Yeah. And us being at the Hilo at the time, there was a group of concerned students, concerned about what was happening with the DOI, but concerned about all the other issues that are kind of getting left behind. And as we saw here at Hilo, there was a lot of different issues just here on this campus. For instance, there was one flagpole for the two flags, the Hawaiian flag and the American flag. Of course, the Hawaiian flag, the Hawaiian national flag, flew below it. And also, we noticed that there really wasn't a place for Hawaiian national students, for people who were learning about their independence, learning about their history. There wasn't really an environment here for that nurtured, that perpetuated that kind of education. So a group of students and community members, we started a radio show here called Movement for Aloha Aina, and we started to address some of these problems here. Yeah, we started keeping track of the issues happening on Mauna Kea, the issues happening with the DOI, the issues happening with nation building, and Oha, and Kamawa Ea, Nadiaupuni, all these different variations of the Akaka Bill, of this effort to create a Hawaiian tribe. Yeah. For us to manufacture that consent for ourselves, basically. So we started organizing, we started having a presence here. Now Wahine, Aloha Aina, another group of students, Wahine, just trying to address some of these problems. The flag, the lack of education, the education malpractice that was happening here. So when we take a look at our history and who we are as a people, and how do we start? Yeah, we're a budding community organization, student organization. How do we start? What kind of structure can we turn to? Yeah, when you look at the history of the Hawaiian Kingdom, even there, it's hard to know where to start. You start the 1840 laws, the organic laws of the kingdom. You start with the 1864 Constitution, 1887. The 1893 Constitution that Lili'u never had ratified, that she was overthrown for. Where do we start as Hawaiian national students? Yeah, at a place of higher learning. And really in our search, the Kino was what we found, or what that found us. Yeah, the concept of the civil body polity, and it's also called Kalai Moku. And this is an excerpt from David Malo. In Hawaiian Antiquities. Yeah, so I'm just going to read it. The word kalaimoku related to the civil polity or government of the land. The government was supposed to have one body, kino, as the body of a man is one provided with a head, with hands, feet, and numerous smaller members, so the government has many parts, but one organization. The corporate body of the government was the whole nation, including the common people, the chiefs under the king. This is seen to be the case from the fact that in a country where there are no people, there is no government, such as Kaula and Ihoa and some of the other atolls further up the Hawaiian archipelago. The king was the real head of state, or queen, right, as we know, the executive, yeah. The chiefs below the king, the shoulders and the chest. The priest of the king's idol was the right hand, and the minister of the interior, Kanaka Kalaimoku, was the left hand of the government. So you had spiritual leaders and political leaders, but really their influence went both ways as well. The soldiery were the right foot of the government, while the farmers and fishermen were the left foot. The people who performed the miscellaneous offices represented the fingers and the toes. This was the theory on which the ancient works. So before the kingdom, which was internationally recognized in 1843, and before Kamehameha and his unification of the islands, before Liloa and Umi and his unification, some even say before Pa'ao and Pili, Maili Kukali, generations and generations ago. So we really don't have a time period for when this concept of the Kino became part of our cosmogony, a part of who we are as Hawaiians and how we view governance and how we structure governance. But as the old newspapers tell us, it's from the time before time. Yeah, so from the time before time is where this Kino comes from. And so again, if I can just, go through some of the parts. So again, we were discovered by the Kino in our research, and we started applying it here at Hilo. And it really gave us direction, how to address certain things. For Kalaimoku, we went to political leaders, Dr. Williamson Chang, Keawekane-Stafford, to address the flag poles. How come the flag is flying lower than the American flag? How come our national flag doesn't have the same? So we reached out to Kalaimoku, people we felt were Kalaimoku, and they helped us. And as we can see this year, we have 2 flag poles outside at both and at the HTC campus, and also, last year, you may have heard there was a lot of controversy regarding Mauna Awakea, Mauna Kea, our people, our sacred area. We don't have to get into that too much, but there was a big presence here on campus during that time as well. There was sleepovers, there was marches, there were sign wavings, sign makings. It was a very, very active time for this campus. And during that time, there was an effort to build ahu, to build rock altars in solidarity with the mountain, the struggles on the mountain, in solidarity with the other islands who were dealing with the same kind of issues. So we consulted our spiritual leaders here, and we went out to the Nakors, who were up on the mountain, and to the Mahi'ai, who fed us while we were on the mountain, and we brought po'akus, from our Aina and from the Mauna as well, to inter here at Hilo, so that we can be connected to the mountain and to the struggles that our communities are really connected to. So now we have 2 flagpoles again at the Hilo, and we also have our ahu, our Hawaiian National Student ahu, down by the sustainable agriculture area near the library. And so those 2 symbols of our nation, really, our Hawaiian national symbols, really, empowered us here. It really made us feel like we can accomplish things. And if we start applying the understanding of our kupuna, the ike kupuna, that have been passed down to us we can start making some, some victories, instead of struggling all the time. So again, I just want to go through the keynote here. Yeah.
It's easier to see.
Okay. So the kahuna, or if we can go back one sec. So as you can see, we haven't been talking about the po'o, the head, the head of state. But to us, we don't need to talk about that right now. No sense trying to figure out who's king, who's queen, who's acting regent, who's head of state, yada yada. What we know is that our kupuna protested, 21,000 strong, 37,000 strong, and our queen, our last reigning queen, Queen Hilo was a part of that protest as well. And the red ribbon, some of you folks might be wearing them, there you go. The red ribbon protest, that some of us say preserves our inherent right and our undivided interest to the Aina, because we never relinquished it, So to us, we honor Queen Hilo as the ho'o, the last reigning monarch. She's the ho'o. We don't need a new one. She's the last one. And also our Aina is on the same level. She, the Aina, Mother Earth, she is the head of our Hilo. She's our leader, and our sustainer, and so forth. So, again, the right hand, the kahuna, the spiritual, cultural leaders. So that could be kumuhula, educators, healers, scientists, managers, all of those things, right? And it's a little bit more diversified now. This concept is from, the time before time, so you kind of got to adapt it to what's relevant today. Kalai mokus, again, the left arm, the political leaders, the lawyers, the politician, the economists, the executives, the elected officials, the elected leadership, and so forth. The mahi'ai and nabai'a, the right foot, or the left foot, sorry, which include farmers, fishermen, hunters, gatherers, service industry workers, drivers, chefs, the people who make our economy go, the producers a lot of the time. That's our left foot, that's an important one. And the nakua, the right foot, the warriors, the protectors, the resource managers, the law enforcers, firefighters, soldiers, basically anyone who puts their boots on the ground to protect our national interests. That's the nakua. And then the manowai is a new concept that we kind of added to this keynote. So the manowai is like a circulatory system. So we've added this because, today's day and age, we have technology, we have communication, mass media, all kinds of things. It's only, we'd be missing a big part if we didn't have the manowai now. So that's communications, media, information technology, network specialists, entertainers, musicians, and so forth. And so together, this makes up our civil body polity, our keynote, and our concept of society from a Hawaiian perspective. So again, this is a lot of the different concepts, but it's not limited to just this too. I hope you guys are thinking about different, different occupations, different people for different body parts, basically. So as we move into the next part of this this event, we're going to have you guys start thinking about what part of the keynote do you belong to. And I don't want to say that in a limiting way. This isn't, you only get one part, stick to one arm, one foot. A lot of us, we do all of these different things for our Aloha. We hold keynotes by ourselves. But for the sake of today's event, we want to separate the room into 5 different groups. So if you're a teacher, you might want to go with the kahuna, the spiritual leaders. If you're a kumuhula, or if you're a scientist, yeah, or if you're a kalaimoku, if you're into politics, political science, if you're into leadership, you want to go to the kalaimoku, the mahiaya again. Any producers in here, any farmers, fishermen, hunters, gatherers, yeah, that's for you right there. And the nakwas, you kind of, fill in the gaps. And so if we can actually, in just a little bit, if we could start separating the groups based on body parts, and what we're going to do is, we're going to try to have and facilitate discussions in each group, yeah. So we want everybody to share their mana'o about that keynote. Share what your experiences have been as, say, an educator, as, say, a nakoa, as, say, a communication specialist, yeah. What have been your experiences, and how do you help, or how do you envision helping the future of Hawaiian people? How do you envision helping the lahui and being a part of the lahui? And if we can, I guess if we could separate this exactly like how the keynote, go back to the keynote real quick, is if we can separate ourselves by the keynote. So if you consider yourself kahuna, you want to be a part of the kahuna group, we're going to be up in this corner. The kalaimoku group, we're going to be up there in the right. The nakua, we're going to be down here. Mahi'ai in the white out right here. And right in the middle, we're going to try to have the mano white. And so again, what we're going to be doing, I know it's going to get noisy in here, but if we could just separate ourselves into the groups and start talking about the different efforts that we're all undertaking to further our keynotes in our life.
Just a little.
Again, so when you get to your group,
What are you doing?
if you can sign
Mano,
in,
vai, 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 vai,
sign
vai.
your sheet there. But really, we want to get you guys to start talking with other,
Charmaine
Kino parts, other Hawaiian
in the
nationals,
Nakwas. She's in the Nakwas.
and start brainstorming. Yeah, start writing down. What are some of the ideas that we can further this year? Yeah.
Yes,
What are some
Nakwa
of
is here.
the efforts that are already being taken, to protect their national interests, to educate, and so forth. So I know some of the people here in the Mono 5 group, there's talk of a student media organization, a RESO, also a long-term communication. So again, in your group, you should be getting to know some of the different, nakua, some of the different halaimoku, in your group. Sign in, please, because we're going to have events throughout the year.
Just get you guys, just get an idea.
Yeah.
Again, what we're trying to start is sort of like a working group. Yeah, we're trying to get working groups started for these different Kino parts. So we want to highlight the efforts that are already being taken by those Kino parts, but also come up with new ideas, come up with new strategies. How are we going to become a solid, silver lining?
Just look at this. All my Facebook friends are here.
Ooh, it's a lot of people. I wasn't expecting this much people. Wow. It's a good turnout.
Questions. I'm not really sure. To this group, Is this Aloha Aina party?
No.
No. Okay. So this is nothing to do with. Okay. So not anything to do with voting in the American elections. Because I don't do that. So I was wondering if this is like I don't know. So this is good. Okay, I'm happy to hear this.
Okay, there seems to be some confusion. So this is one idea for what you can do in your groups. You can come up with a personal introduction statement. How do you fit into your body part? How do you exercise your efforts, your rights, your talents and skills? How do you mobilize those efforts? So, personal introduction sample. Another strategy is to brainstorm within your group. And just so you know, the combine worker group up there, I don't know what happened, but okay, they went outside. Too noisy. Again, this online, this isn't affiliated with any political group, but we do support and get support from a lot of different groups. Mahalo to the Aloha Aina party, that's what they're doing.
You can check them out. But what we're doing here is not an Aloha Aina party function. This is strictly Hilo workshop kind of working group. Aloha Aina. Yeah. So again, please, if you can, introduce yourself to your group members. Try to brainstorm different ideas, concepts, and efforts, so that we can get our keynote moving forward. At the end of this, say in 20 minutes or so, we're going to have a sharing portion where you can kind of summarize your group members, and share with the rest of us, so that we can plan for the rest of the summer and the rest of the year for these events. So if we can settle down a little bit, you guys, find your seats, and make sure you put the help coming in you to share a little bit some of the info. Oh yeah.
And her name is?
Aloha, I'm Milani. We collectively covered a broad spectrum of topics, but we kind of narrowed it down to children, education, connecting them to self-worth. Aina, of course, Aloha, educating the entire spectrum of the population, not just children, but all the way to the point of getting everyone on the same page. We also talked about a lot of the succeeding callings, our connectedness to one another, spirituality, connecting the community, and then facilitating community gatherings and, again, education.
Aloha.
My name is Aina. Most of my friends will get Paka. With a K, the Paka with a peanut, I guess. That's my favorite.
You're gonna quack me out.
How can I describe what my group went through? We had some fire, we had some tears.
Wow.
We had passion, we had anger.
Wow.
Every
Kids were
emotion
deep.
I think was shared out there. The timing was just right. Everybody had time to share.
Yeah, it was politics, that's all, no wonder.
I think everybody wants to continue the discussion, so we're going to create a Facebook group for our group and continue the discussion. I think everybody's ready for the nation to come back. And
Ew.
we need to begin to unify. You know, there's been many efforts, organizations, and things created over the past few decades trying to do just that, and for some reason we have never been able to unify. And you know, I've been looking at the past couple of years, all the things that have been happening with the Mona, all these things, seems like attacks against us. I think it's putting some screens. I think they're trying to stimulate us to get up off our ass and do something. I think now is the time. You know, I started this little group a few months ago. It's called Destination Restoration on Facebook. And we have close to 1,000 members now. And in the beginning, we agreed to follow the Hawaiian Kingdom laws and the last lawful constitution of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Some groups don't agree with the 1864 Constitution. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So I asked them to show me what makes that Constitution is legitimate and be supported and things like that. But eventually we all got to come together, and I think the roadmap is there in our Hawaiian Kingdom Constitution, and we look at the compiled laws of 1884. It's a fairly recent, we put out a fairly recent compilation of all Hawaiian Kingdom laws, and the lawmakers back there were brilliant people. Read the language that we put together, and it's for the people. Protect the people's rights, protect the Aina, and we need to get back there and take back money powers. But anyway, mahalo for your time.
My name is Dave Sansone, and just want to say it's a real honor and treat to be here and to be able to speak tonight. Most of us are pretty shy gardeners and farmers, so I'll be doing what's going to talk a little bit. But basically, today we just had a conversation, and we kind of realized that we see the need to develop a council of cultivators. That way, it's not just a few people, but a nice broad-based group of people to identify the needs of Lahui, yeah. And what we seek to do as people from the district of Hilo is to develop the needs for nourishment, so food, shelter, water, in a sustainable way. And we see communication as the key to cultivating relations with the other body parts, right? Because we're all part of this one body. And so seeing that coming together is a great idea to identify the needs, to come up with the solutions, and develop guidelines, protocols, criteria, and goals to reach that food security that is needed for true sovereignty. And just a few things identified, such as like stopping invasive pests from coming in, perhaps also developing taxes and tariffs to discourage export and encourage local sales, breaking down the barriers of communication, or people in the education departments can't grow food and serve to the students, things like that. Just basic things like that. So basically, there's also a group named Left Foot Steppin'. They're on Facebook, and it's related to this. And you can check them out and basically be involved with that to help people set up gardens. And if you want to be involved with this group, you can talk to Shandell over there. Shandell's on show. And that's it. Thank you.
Uncle. Aloha.
My name is Nicole, and I am going to share with you what Uncle talks about. So the first thing we talked about really was we want to change the image of what a koa is, what a warrior is. We want not really so much violence, but more so a spiritual peacekeeper or enforcers of kapu aloha even. We talked about increasing our numbers. Definitely, that's something that we need to do. So one thing that we as Nakua are going to ask all you guys here today is to please go home today after all of this and find one friend or one ohana, if you can, that would be willing to come join this movement or find their little niche wherever, whatever group that is. So you guys can just ask them if they can ask one more person, and that's how we would build our army. Also, we really want to increase the number of OPO that we have involved in this. And one thing that I was talking to my group about was, I was talking to Aina Skippy a couple of years ago about just random things when we were out on the field trip at Mokapela, and he mentioned to us that, you know, he's tired. That generation, they're tired of all this kind of stuff. They want us to step up and do this kind of thing.
Not Uncle Earl.
So we also want to increase our communication, not just between the different body parts, but just with all of our Kanaka, all of our Kanaka, period. Because you're talking about how the protest went down for the Na'Iopuni, and a lot of us honestly didn't even know that was happening. So we have to increase our communication. So kind of work with them on the way for that. We're also going to start a Facebook page if you guys want to get involved in that.
What's it called? Yay.
Aloha.
Yay.
Something like that.
Yeah, and so we're thinking if everybody kind of, or every Kino part wanted to make a Facebook page so everybody can kind of stay in touch, make it a little bit easier. Because I know not everybody has Facebook, but a little bit easier than calling every single person on your list. Also, we wanted to identify when and where our kia'i are needed, places like Kulalai, Waipio, Haleakala, all of these different places that we have that are under attack right now. We need to place our kia'i, but when do we place them? Just have an unlimited number of bodies, you know, we have to figure out availability for everybody. Also, we really wanted to create a database of like all the different issues that are going on across our Aina, maybe separated by Moku, I think Lafayette was suggesting. Also identify different roles, because we do recognize that within Nakua there are different subsets of people. There are people that maybe are better for writing letters to stand steadfast. There are people that are maybe better for going and actually physically getting arrested. There's people that are better for standing in Kapua. There is a role for everybody within Nakua, so we wanted to identify those different roles and also build up our funds so we can do things like fly people out to different islands to go protect those places. Do things like throw people out of jail that do get arrested for protecting all these Vakipana and all that other kind of stuff. And that's basically what we want to do in Nakua.
We do want to also acknowledge the beautiful, beautiful artwork, yes, that was done especially for this art.
Aloha, my name is Rosa Montai, representing Molokai. We talked about several things and we kind of narrowed it down. One of the biggest ones for us was education, branching out education with the whole system, as I heard in some other groups as well as education on different things where people can go to get the information that they need. Another one was organization. How are we going to organize ourselves, not only within this kino, but outside as well? What is going to be our protocol for communicating with each other and with everyone else who wants to get information on what's going on in the process that we're all involved in? Another one is the media, having reliable media. That's a big one. Reliable media, TV, radio, newspaper that we can count on to be telling us the truth and staying up to date. How do we reach our audiences? How do we make sure that they all have access to the communication that we are putting out as well? And the last one is kind of informational diplomacy. And I'm going to hand this one over because I'm not as well versed.
So in the Manabai, the information that will be distributed will come from the left foot, the right foot, the left arm, the right arm. Whatever is your guys' issue, come to the Manabai, and we will try and we will do the best that we can to communicate and bridge the gaps between everybody.
I mentioned in our group, we have living 3 generations of activists. In the first generation, we have a handful who are skilled and experienced in international diplomacy. We sort of don't have that in the second generation of activists in the 1990s. And you are the third generation of activists. So there is a need for young people that can be mentored, trained, and schooled in international diplomacy. It is a field that independence depends on. And the world of diplomacy is a world of numerous protocols. And there is a place for protest, there's a place for resistance, there's a place for education and writing, but in the world of diplomacy, there is no place for protest. It has to be done within the protocols of international diplomacy. So we need young people to step up, to get mentored and trained in that.
All right.
Yes. Say hello again, so that's what we're going to try. We're going to do the model 5. We're going to start. Everybody wanted to create a little part of the keynote. You guys right arm, left arm, maybe we can get a whole one up and maybe break the keynote down on one page, yeah? And then we can break that.
Subgroups.
Subgroups, one time, yeah. So you guys have the exact people and Kanakas, in that position who can address and will be open to the rest of the keynote, yeah? So everything can be distributed very good, equally. Communicate
within groups, and within islands, and within Aqua.
Yeah, direct communication, yeah.
Our Mahi I group. Our A group, we actually took notes. We had a note taker. Where is our secretary? Thank you. We actually took notes, so we'd like to write that up and make it a part of the very first historical for our mobile.
Mahalo. Yes, so the plan was that each group had a notebook, and then you were going to put your notes in the notebook, and then you were going to, the alakais for each of the groups, who's going to be responsible for the notebook, as well as the sign-up sheet. So make sure whoever was facilitating the specific body part, that you have all the notes, whether they're in the notebook or not, doesn't matter. Just joking. Just make sure that they're all together, along with the sign-up sheet for your hui, and then, yeah. So you bought up on your own test. See? I'm only going to do mine. Because really, what we want to do is we want to get together again in about 6 months and then again in about a year. So every 6 months kind of, but in between, the different body parts will meet and move forward. So you're really going to be responsible for your body part in terms of communications, and then we will work, all of the parts will work together with Manuai to make sure that we all are in the loop and we know what's happening, kind of thing. But every one of the groups will be sort of independent for a little while to work on their kuleana, and then we will come back together again. How everybody organizes themselves is really up to them, but it only makes sense that we use technology, like Facebook and other things, online kind of conferencing, whatever. But then also, the regular good old-fashioned get-together and talk story kind of a way, that has to be part of it too, because the personal connections and the kind of stuff that we can do face-to-face is really a very, very important way for us to connect and to show our aloha to one another. Physically be in one place, share mea'ai, share aloha, and share our manao. And so we will do all of those things separate. So please, every alakai of the specific 5 parts, make sure you have the sign-up sheet so that you can facilitate communication with your group, and make sure you have the notes so that you can write up notes, and then we'll share them. And I would assume that we will have a place where we can put all of that information. That's kind of what I heard you say, yeah? So I think it was a very, very productive gathering, there was considering we had to start somewhere, and just give a little bit of a background and then really have time for everybody to share them now and getting to know you folks. I'm totally blown away by the amount of people who did come. I had expected 100 people, so 20 per week, but I know ours one is front and back. And we're going to hold the same AHA in other places, and when we close, we'll have that on top of the by tomorrow. Then in Kona and in Ka'u, Puna is going to come online and we'll let people know when that is happening. So it's happening all over. Maui at there on Sunday, Thursday, Oahu will gather at Whitburn. They only have one place for now, but I can see this also popping up in other places. They're on a whole outside now. I'm sure Waianae is going to Palimai, kind of thing. And so that's a very, very exciting thing. We are just so blessed for all the people that have come today, that have helped and make this possible. So if you have not signed the declaration, Charmaine, can you raise your hand on the time? She's right there, and she can show you how to do it right here, or how to do it at your home, in your own privacy, if you want to read it over first. If you are interested in the QA petitions also that's outside, these are the 34 co-sponsors, and as Charmaine mentioned, it's really a solidarity kind of sponsorship. You don't have to put any money down. You don't have to, put on your firstborn child as a prize, or anything like that. It's just about being alive, believing that this Aina it doesn't belong to us in terms of being born and sold. A gift from Akua, that this is Papahana, our kupuna, that we have a kuleana to take care of, and that means that we decide with the help of our Akua now, our kupuna, where we want to go in the future, which is basically looking at the past, which worked really, really well, right? And build on that tradition as far as Malama, our Aina, like our Mahiai and our Lamaya have talked about this evening. So these are the groups and the people that have already signed on, and you are invited as an individual, as a person that has an organization or some kind of group, to be part of this message of Aloha Aina, that is really a message that's been passed down to us for many, many generations, and that we can proudly stand on. When this message was written, we came together and we did not just roll over and just accept the hanaino that was done to Hilo, Kalani, to our Aina, to our Lahui, but we sang up, stood up, and we sang, and we protested the illegal activities that were happening, and we made our stand to stand firm behind the Iwokalani and to stand firm behind the land. And so what we want to do at each of these AHA is share one of these important songs that were written quite a while back, 1893, 1894, 1895. A lot of these songs were born at that time, but they're still applicable, they're still pertinent today, they still make sense today. And so we have put them in your little flyers so that you can practice them at home. And now we just need to get our ukuleles alakala. And then you're going to go.
Thank you, am I careful? I'm going to put it like this.
And we'll just all get it together. The Hawaiian words are there, the English is there, and we're going to close together.